Once upon a time, out on a farm, there lived an old warrior. His name was Terry, and he had a wife, Jerry, and these two were in love. They danced and sang and played all year long, and except though one day, demons came and took Jerry from Terry. And Terry was furious. They would run away with Jerry in their arms, and Terry would run at them, but they were way too quick, so he could not capture them. And so he went to the tavern, distraught and frustrated. He had so many beers, and he sat there at the table until one guy came up and introduced himself, and he said, "Hey, I'm Barry. You look really annoyed. I think that you did you lose your wife too to demons?" And Terry went, "Yeah, mate. Yeah, they're too quick for me." And so Barry said, "Well, you know what? I've been studying those demons, and I found that there's a portal to their world, their hell, up on the mountains. You look like a strong warrior. Do you want to come with me, and we can take our wives back?" And so Terry went, "Yeah, mate, that sounds great." So they went off. They went through the forests, avoiding the trolls. They went up the snow, avoiding the other trolls, and then even higher up into the rocks, again to avoid more trolls. And then they got to the portal, and they entered. And when they entered, it was warm because it was hell. It wasn't in snow anymore. So they went in, and they kept pushing through. They went past goblins and skeletons and other things. And then eventually they got into the lair of the demons. They walked into the lair, and none of the demons were attacking. They were just standing around, just looking at Terry and Barry walking through. And they were shocked. They were thinking, why aren't they attacking us? And Barry was feeling too confident. He said, "Well, maybe they're threatened of us." But Terry looked at Barry and said, "No, I think they don't think we're a threat at all." And then as they got up to the big demon in its lair, it said, "What are you guys doing here?" And Barry said, "We're here for our wives." And Terry went, "Yeah, samesies." And then the big demon said, "No, I need these wives, because I need a wife, I need something to love. I need that in my life." And then Terry went, "Yeah, but, we need our wives. Can't we have our wives back?" And so then the demon said, "Well, you need to find me a wife then. If you want your wives back, I need someone that loves me for who I am." And so Terry and Barry looked at each other, and they said, "Yeah, alright. Yeah, let's try and do that then. That sounds like a good plan. I reckon we can do that." So then off they went to interview women for Satan, or the big demon. He went as Satan. That was his name. And so then, so they interviewed all these women, and there were some that just weren't into the whole idea of dating a demon, and then there were some girls that were into the whole bad boy thing. And so then they ended up coming out and having a date with Satan. And so they sat down at a table with him and had dinner. But then what Barry and Terry were noticing after all these dates is they were all going wrong. Satan was being annoying person to them. He was being rude and angry and frustrating, and these girls were nice. They were good girls, you know. There wasn't anything really wrong with them. And then, yeah, Satan went to them. He said, "Look, guys, you know, I told you can't find me a wife. I've got to get them myself. I've got to steal them or whatever." But Terry went to him and he said, "Mate, no. Look, what's going on is, you know, you seem like a nice guy, but you're getting angry and frustrated. You got to calm down. You got to be a nice person when you're around these girls. Because otherwise they're just not going to want to be with you, you know. We know you're an alright guy, but you're just getting caught up in it." And so then Satan went, "Well, what do I do?" And Barry said to Satan, he said, "Well, look, what we can do is, why don't you just come back to the pub with us and hang out for a bit, get some basic social skills, right? Have a chat to some people. Don't worry about getting a wife, just worry about meeting people and having a chat." So that's what they did. They went all the way back to the tavern, and Satan, Barry and Terry were sitting there. They were introducing them to his mates and said, "Look, he's new, he needs to talk to some people." And then over like the next few weeks, Satan got really good at talking to people. He was just introducing himself to people on his own. He was being really nice to everybody. And eventually he found and met one girl who was sort of half demon. She was really cool. And then Satan and the guys, like the girl, ended up being friends and stuff, and then sort of falling in love slowly but surely. And eventually she became his wife and he became her husband, and it was beautiful. And they went back to the lair, and Barry and Terry followed them, and Satan looked at Barry and Terry and said, "You guys, look, I know you didn't get me a wife, I did it myself, but you guys are alright. You helped me along the way. Thanks so much for that, I really appreciate it." And so then he let all the wives go, Cherry and Barry's woman, Bonnie, and then Barry and Terry escorted them all the way back to the town. And when they got back, Terry said goodbye to Barry and thanked him and said, "I hope you have a fun time with Bonnie." And then they went back to the farm, Terry and Jerry. And Terry looked at his wife and he was in love, but he asked her a question and he said, "How are we going? Do you still love me? Are you still, am I still a good person for you? I'm not getting angry, or just wanted to check in." And Jerry, well, you know, there were things that were brought up that were very uncomfortable with both of them, as they both shared things that they were uncomfortable about with their relationship. But in time, they reminded themselves of the love that they had for one another. And in time, those things that they said that they needed to change or work on or fix up was slowly but surely developed and changed. And now, after having that conversation and have had Jerry taken to Satan and brought back, now they have a stronger bond than ever. And then they sat on their farm dancing and singing the night away. And that's the end of the story. Satan's Wives by Dale Forward.